These are the children whose parents lost the ability to care for them, many during the crisis. They're among 300 living in a foster care charity, SOS Children's Villages. Not only does it not seek state subsidies, it also pays $130,000 in taxes each year, almost 5 times what it paid before the crisis. With that money, it says, it could care for another 25 children.
We have a lot of important charities and institutions in Greece. They could increase their work, but they cannot, not because they are lacking of any governmental subsidies or support, but because the government, by taxation, is taking the money of a private donor or a company that it gives to those charities for making and doing what the state should do.
Taxes have risen sharply during the Greek crisis, partly to repay creditors for $250 billion in emergency loans. But so have arrears. Greeks now owe the Treasury an unprecedented $86 billion, and they seem decreasingly able to pay. State revenue has dropped sharply over 3 months. Creditors believe Greece is going to fall $4.5 billion short of its target this year.
The vast majority of taxpayers owes less than $5,000, and it is they who are most likely to come forward and settle. But 97% of Greek tax arrears are owed by just 11% of taxpayers. And that includes a tough kernel of tax evaders governments have traditionally failed to rein in.
The government's plan is to collect a large upfront sum to show them that Greece is serious about revenue. It's inviting people to come forward with a down payment against their tax arrears, and it'll match that payment with a discount of equal size.
We will do our best. We didn't know before all the figures we know now. Our policy from now on needs to focus on putting a stop to the increase of uncollected taxes, which grew by an enormous 1.1 billion euros in January. The next step will be to help people who cannot pay.
Austerity governments did manage to increase tax revenue from easy targets like the salaried middle class, but experts believe this isn't sustainable. Adding to this problem is Syriza's social justice agenda. It has promised to abolish a roundly hated property tax and restore a $13,000 tax exemption to the exhausted middle class. But to provide social spending while cutting taxes, it has to bring growth and pare back an expensive state. And Greece's creditors simply don't seem to believe that it can. John Psaropoulos, Al Jazeera, Athens.